Hi everyone, it's Janet and welcome to my channel. And in fact, welcome to my new craft room. Yes, I finally did it. I have a dedicated craft room slash business office slash video studio now in my home. I've converted a very unused guest bedroom into a very used space for my crafting and business needs. So I'm so excited about this, and one of the reasons I'm so excited is that I'll be able to do more one-on-one videos like this with you, where you get to see me and I can talk to you directly. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to do some lives and some things that I just wasn't able to do in the space I had before. It was just too crammed, too little, and there just was no way to really do it well. So anyway, this is going to be the start of a series about the craft room organization. And I'm going to take you through what I've done. Today's video is going to be just an introduction to the series and a walkthrough of the craft room itself, and just so you get a feel of what it looks like and how it feels. The second video is going to get into much more detail about the furniture pieces I chose and why I chose them. I will show you how I planned my room on paper and then took several months to go ahead and find the furniture to be used in the room. I didn't, just to preview, I didn't just hire somebody, have them come in, design a room for me, and then I went and purchased everything and somebody put it together for me. That would be nice, but no, that's not how it worked. And I don't think it works that way for most crafters. The craft room is not, so I don't always thought of like that odd space that nobody really cares about, and if you just have a place to work, that should be good enough. Well, my opinion is if you're going to be in your craft room using it a lot, it needs to be functional for sure, but it also needs to be pretty and comfortable, and it needs to flow. And so I'm going to show you how I plan my own to be that way, just using some simple tools and some simple math, and then purchasing the pieces that I used basically from Facebook Marketplace for the most part, and taking my time, and this also saved me money. So anyway, there'll be a whole video about that, maybe two, I don't know. And then the next video is going to be about my video setup, my video studio more or less. I know a lot of people are curious, I know I was before I started doing videos, how is it that you're doing your overhead videos? How are you doing your face-to-face? How are you handling lighting and all of that kind of thing? And I'll be honest, here I don't have it yet completely figured out. I'm sure you're seeing the glare on my glasses, for example. I'd like to get rid of that. Also, I need to do better with a lavalier or some kind of microphone that I can pin on so that my sound is better. So yes, I do have some issues I need to work out yet, but I'm pretty close and I kind of know what I need to do, so I'll just be experimenting with that some, and hopefully you'll see the benefit of that. But I do want to tell you how I do my overhead, what camera I use, what software I use on my computer to edit my videos, what's my microphone for my voiceovers. Just be completely open with you about how I do my own video work, and I hope it will give you some ideas and maybe encourage you if you want to create a video channel of your own. Alright, so let's take a break now and we'll do our video tour. I'm standing right now at the door that you enter from a hall into this room. And let's do kind of a 360 tour at first, and let's start with the entry door. As you can see, that entry door is kind of a mini hallway itself, and on the left is our doors that lead to my very deep closet that I have not yet fully organized. And then I also have a nice wide wall space there, which I utilize for many of my bottles and pastes and glues and mists and all that things like that. It really stores it nicely there and makes it very accessible, and you can find things really quickly and easily. Okay, moving to the right, you'll see my desktop. Now this is where I do spend most of my time during the working day because I work here full-time. And you'll see I have a storage unit here with drawers. I had that before I moved into this space, and it's great that I can continue to use it. Also, I had my light box there. I use that a lot because when I finish with my projects, I take pictures of them. So on the top of my desk, I have a little sign for myself. I've got a picture of my grandparents who were great influences in my life. And then I have all of my full-size inks there in a storage container that my husband made for me. And to the right of that is a Stampin' storage unit where I keep most of my Heartfelt Creations die and stamp sets that I have. And there's a few Stampin' Up! Items there as well. Then moving over, I have two computer screens. They're fairly large, and they are on a pole system with my computer, my main personal computer underneath my desk. It's a tower. And then you'll see I've got my work laptop there connected too. So this unit, this desk setup I have works really well for both business and my personal work. I really like it. It's very comfortable. It's very deep. There's lots of room to work here, and I enjoy it a lot so far. Above that, I have some decorations and some floating shelves. This is where I put the most recent things that I've worked on. And that flower is actually just plastic spoons with the long part of the spoon cut off and then spray painted. It's on foam core. So it matches the decor of my room. I'm going for that kind of turquoise color as an accent to the blacks and whites and browns. Then over here, I have kind of a unique scenario for most rooms. I've got two entrance doors in my space. One goes out to the hall, but this one goes out to an outside porch on the second floor. And now I can go out here on my sunny porch, take my lunch, or take my computer and spend a little time out there if I want. It's really great. So I love that part, even though it's kind of a pain for organizing the room. It takes up wall space I would have liked to have used, but in the end I think it's good. So in the corner here I have an origami storage center. Now this holds my Cricut machine and my Silhouette 4 machine and also my printer. And then below that are drawers that hold a variety of things. And this has been very handy. Since this room is 12 by 12, there's not a ton of space to set out, multiple machines. But it's very tall. It's a 9-foot tall room, so that means I have lots of vertical space. And I've used that vertical space as much as I can, really. And this is a good example of it. This would take a lot of counter space, but in this format it just takes a pretty small footprint. Next to that is a craft cabinet or table. The right side opens up to create an additional workspace. This used to be my primary my extra workspace if I needed it. For now, I have put it here because it fits, and we'll see if I need it. I am using the drawers for just the fact that I have drawer use, I will probably keep it. And then next to that, I have my little stool that folds up and opens up so that I can get up to the high areas of my room, because again, the room is got a tall ceiling, and so I've used that height, and which means that for the tops of my storage areas, I do usually need a little help to get up there. I'm fairly short. I'm about 5'3". Next up is my island, and this is one of my favorite pieces. This I picked up on Facebook Marketplace. Someone had redone a kitchen cabinet, a lower kitchen cabinet, and put on the top just a plain, probably a very ugly actually, countertop. And then what they did is they painted it and then covered it with epoxy. And it looks very much like marble or granite. And they even put in, which I don't think you're going to be able to pick up, but there's glitter in this epoxy. So it's just so pretty. I love it. And there's a little aqua, little gray, little browns, and cream in there. It works really well. They had also painted this kind of a light green. It's very, very light green, and I don't know if you'll be able to make that out. But it also fits into the room. It's not just a plain white, which I really like. Now, above this you'll see a PAX unit. This is an IKEA unit. It's quite tall, and I've decorated the top with a few things, but it actually goes all the way to the floor. What I did was I put one of the shelves as close to the height of my island that I could, and that's where I've put my scan and cut, so I can pull that out and use it quick. I use the scan and cut primarily to scan images that I have stamped and colored, and then it'll cut it out for me. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to fussy cutting, so this really is my go-to if I don't have a die to go with whatever I'm stamping and working with. Also, this island has an overhang, so it's perfect for the stool that you see there. I can sit there or stand there. It has another stool as well. I'll show you where I keep that most of the time. Sometimes I need both if I have somebody over, but for the most part, usually one is all I need, and I like to have the other one out of my way. Next to that is a Michael's craft cart. Currently that is holding my Christmas collection, papers, stamps, embellishments, and so forth. On the side of that PAX, you'll see I've used it for hanging a few different things. I've hung my heat embosser, I've hung my heat gun, and above that I've hung a few mats. That's my brother scan and cut mat. And I've got a lighter hanging there off a hook because a lot of times I do burn a candle, a scented candle in this room just to give it some ambiance. Alright, we're going to take a look now at the other side of the room, and I'm going to move my island out of the way so you can see this a little better. But I wanted to back up first so you can see the kind of the whole thing of how it looks with my island before I do that. Alright, so this is a long wall, 12 feet long. You can see what I've done here. Here's that chair I mentioned, the second chair. So let's start at the far left. I have what is called an IKEA Hallex unit. This is really nice for crafting. It's made for many uses, but it is more than 12 inches square, each of these squares. So it fits a lot of our papers and things that we use as paper crafters that are that 12-inch dimension. So what I've got is starting at the top. There's a nice ledge there, and I've got all kinds of things. People have sent me a few cards. Some of them are my projects. I've got an album or two up there, and various things that I like to display. It really, if you have room to decorate your room with things you've made, I think it's a nice touch, and that gives me a lot of room to do it. So over here I have a couple stamp and storage units, plus, I shouldn't say a couple, I've got a few stamp and storage units, plus I have some additional little things in here that I enjoy. Now when I moved into this craft room, I already had this Hallex unit. But I did not have any of the stamp and storage items. That is something I bought as part of my gift to myself when I got a bonus at the end of the year. I was very lucky and got a bonus. The stamp and storage items are not inexpensive, but considering that they are made with solid wood and they will last forever, they'll far outlive me. They really are a good deal in the end. Much better than, I think, plastic and stuff that just wears out or yellows or does all kind of weird stuff. I know that these stamp and storage items are going to be with me for a long time. So on the far left on the top you'll see a stamp and storage unit for punches. Following along to the right you'll see I've used a spice rack to hold all of my embossing powders, and sitting on top of that is a large deep tray with a few more punches that I have that don't fit in the other one. Throughout the unit I have several doors that have that are, these are add-ons that you can purchase with your unit, and they install really easily. And I like to have things covered up and looking neat, so I've got a few of these doors, and behind that are things that aren't maybe as neat looking. They don't stack nice, or they're just not as neat. So it just helps my brain if things look neat and organized, so I utilize that. Going over, you'll see some clear storage containers. These are my wood block stamps. I don't have a ton, but I've got quite a few, and I found that these cases in particular that I have work really well, and I can store quite a bit in that 12 by 12 space. So that's been a real blessing. They fit so nicely there. And then to the far right is another stamp and storage unit, which is holding all of my Copic marker collection. And I really love how that works. Everything's neat, it's easy to find things. I really enjoy that. Going back here, another door, and you'll see 3 stamp and storage paper units. I've put my paper vertically rather than horizontally. It's easier for me to find what I'm looking for, and I put those at about head height. They're a little bit shorter. It's it's really quite perfect for me to page through and look for things as I pull them out. And another door. There's a door on each end of that. Then we start with some other types of things. On the far left, you'll see that little aqua or turquoise colored fridge. That was a Christmas present this year. I love it. It allows me to store about 6 cans of soda and water in there. So I don't even have to go downstairs to the kitchen to get something to drink. It's awesome. And then we've got a couple drawer sets. These are also things you can buy from IKEA to customize your Hallex unit. And I also applied some vinyl to a few of these door sets just to see what it would look like. This is the accent color that I want, and so I may add maybe another vinyl covering to 2 more of the drawers on the right there. Just haven't gotten to it yet. And then there's at the far right there is a kind of like a, I don't know what the right word, I call it a bucket that you can put things in. So I have a couple of those too. There's one there and one there over here at the bottom, and those are very good again for things that are kind of messy, that don't really stack nice, but you need to get access to them. The one next to it has actually a couple books related to my job, and also a lint roller, which I use, if I can show that a little better. The lint roller I use to pick up glitter and powders and things for my work surface. It's awesome for that. And then I've got another Stampin' Storage unit of 4 little drawers there. And then right here is kind of my cleanup center. I have paper towels. I've got some glue sticks actually there and a duster. Behind there I have some plates and platters that I use when I take photographs. They're kind of backgrounds. And then down here at the very bottom I have 5 different baskets. Well, there's 2 different types of baskets, but 5 total baskets. Again, great for those miscellaneous things, and I don't even have all this full, honestly, but I'm sure it won't take too long and I will have everything full up. Now, when I had this unit before, it was in my son's media room, and he had, you know, books and video games and video console pieces in it and that sort of thing. We got him something else. I took this over. It did have the baskets, the drawers, and the doors when I got it in this room. So I did have the luxury of this entire piece being basically free. This is just repurposed. All right, next to it, let's take a look at this big unit. This is a PAX, and this particular unit is actually meant to be a wardrobe unit. It's sold as a wardrobe from IKEA. This one is 93 inches tall. Again, as I mentioned, I've tried to take advantage of the great big wall space I have. And these doors, of course, if you used it as a wardrobe, you would like to have drawers often, and so that's what it comes from. And I will open this up. And you can see inside of this, I have stuffed it full already. There's not very much room left in here. I have all kinds of different things, and I have, I'm a big labeler. In fact, at work, one of my coworkers got a kick out of my labeling, and even he kind of was joking with me. He came in when I was out of my office and labeled up my computer and my monitor, and it said things like Janet's monitor and Janet's computer and Janet's phone, because I do like to label things. It just helps me find stuff. So make fun of me if you want, but it works for me. So you can see there's a variety of baskets, a variety of storage totes and things. I'll go through that in a different video. So, you know, we all have different supplies and things that we use. We hate to throw everything out and start over. I did not do that. I've tried to use most of my things one way or the other. Now this is where I keep my Gemini, and it's my die cutting station. In front of that is a chair. There's actually plenty of room to walk behind the chair and work, if you can see that. In this 2x2 Hallex unit, again, the black one I just showed you is a 5x5, and they come in different configurations. This is a very common one too, which is the 2 cubes wide by 2 cubes tall. And so what I've done in these cubes is I have my die cut all my dyes pretty much in those containers you see at the very bottom. On the top left, I have, it's basically a file folder, metal file folder thing that you would use in an office, but this I find works really well for storing my plates for the 2 different die cutting machines I have and embossing machines. And then to the right you'll see that Cuttlebug that I have, and there's a box there where I have most of my commonly used base dies for card making. So I've got a wallet full of my round dies, the square dies, the oval dies, rectangle dies, and then a few other types of things like unusual shapes. But they're mostly for card bases. All right, here is my big reveal for my closet. It is a mess. So, hey, I'm going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly of what I've got here. So you can see this is a really deep closet. It's, I think, about 3 feet deep. And it goes all the way up to the top, again, 9 feet tall. So great vertical space to work with. This closet came with two shirt or coat racks. There's one, there's another. So temporarily I moved in here all the kind of stuff that I really didn't want to have in my main room. These are things I don't access all that often. Some magazines, books, I've got some vinyl. I'm not really a big vinyler, but I do some sometimes. And just some miscellaneous things. So you can see there is a lot of stuff crammed in here right now, but I hope you can also see the potential for storage all the way from the floor to the ceiling that could really help out to store things that you don't really access all that much, but you don't want to give up either. So I will do a little video on this one when I put it all together, but that's what I have at the moment. All right, everybody, that wraps up my quick tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Come back again for a little more detail on how I planned this room, give you some tips and tricks to planning your own room, no matter what it is that you do. I think the things that I will show you will help you plan for your own space a little better, whether it's a room like this or just a little corner somewhere. Well, thank you so much for spending a little time with me today, and make sure you subscribe if you want to see more, and also hit that bell so that you get notifications. If you don't hit that bell, you may not, you don't get the notifications. So I want you to get the notifications so that you know, hey, there's a new one up there from Sugarshine Designs, so that you can go and watch it as soon as you have time. So thank you again. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.